Yo, what is up, guys? It's Coach Mike. I'm back. I got my studio podcast set up. Haven't done this setup for a while. So today's live stream, I'm going to talk about the debut of UFC on Paramount. First of all, I want to say it was so nice watching from my house and not having to go to somebody else's house, have a long drive back, or even worse, go to a bar and have to eat food that isn't very good. Yo, what's up? Salute. How you doing? Everything good? Did you watch the UFC last night on Paramount? Did you see the debut? So going to my pro setup for this one. So everything good? How's your Sunday? So I'm doing pretty good. So I'm just talking about how it was so nice not having to go to a bar and sit there until almost midnight and then have like a 30-minute drive home. And then you have to eat bar food you really don't want to eat, sit in uncomfortable chairs. You have to listen to a bunch of non-fighters talk about what they would do in this situation. And it was just so nice being able to watch it from my house. You missed it. You know what? I think it was worth the $8.99. I thought about getting the premium one so it can be streamed in like Ultra 4K. But yeah, that was my next question. So yeah, North Carolina. Did you get hit hard by that snowstorm? Oof, I bet that snowstorm was crazy. So it's snowing here a little bit in Denver, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's around like 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but it's definitely doable. But my gosh, I cannot imagine what it would be like. Because even Texas got it. And I know people in Texas, they can't drive in the snow. They're not used to driving in the snow. So, but yeah, I am so happy I didn't get affected by it. So, yeah, so let me get back to it. So let me go through the main card results because there's a few awkward moments for sure. So yeah, so I got my notes right here. Make sure I don't miss it. So if you guys, I do actually. Hey, before I go in there, let me back up. So I do think it is worth the $8.99. Like I said, it was so nice not having to go to a bar and eat food I really didn't want to eat. And a lot of my friends are married; they got their families, so they don't really want to shell out like $80 and get together like we used to like a few years ago. So oh my gosh, it was so nice not having to try to watch it the next day or anything like that. Just sit from the comfort of my home. I didn't have to go to like a gym party or do anything like that. I could just sit back, kick back, and just watch the fights. That was nice. Part of me, I think I did get spoiled by seeing like 4K for so long because I could tell it was streaming in like 1080, and 1080 actually looked fuzzy to me. So it kind of makes you think like, how do we get along with like 720p and think that was like like HD? It's kind of funny thinking about that. Um, but overall, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Do I look like AI? How come everybody says that? It's so funny. Whenever I do this setup, everyone thinks I'm AI. That's really funny to me. But when I stream from my phone, but I figured since this is a UFC debut, I figure I'll make it look a little bit more professional. Because I don't use this setup that often anymore. But everyone always accuses me of being AI. That's really funny to me. Yeah, but I thought the card overall was decent. I forgot how intrusive ads can be. I mean, I think some of the ads were overkill. And in particular, I thought I was kind of confused when Dominic Cruz was being like honored and being inducted into like the Hall of Fame. And then they're like showing ads and cutting them off. I was kind of confused because, I was looking at my phone, looking at the screen, looking at my phone, and then it just like they just cut it off. And then I thought they're going to do like this whole montage, this thing of honor for him. And then it's like, boom, ad. And I was like, okay, that's a little weird. But you look good though. God bless. Love from India. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching from India. Thank you so much. And how's the audio? Is the audio good? Because I got my pro mic here. So hopefully the audio is good. So if the audio ever goes out, let me know because every now and then it does go out on here. But yeah, I was actually so confused. Like the ads were just so intrusive. And I forgot like they'll do like the split screen and pump ad, split screen, pump ad. So I was just like, sheesh. So overall, I thought the fights were pretty decent for a debut. So here, let me go one by one. So we can start with the Gene Silva versus Arnold Allen. I thought that was a pretty decent fight. I could not believe Silva literally did like a Mario jump off a turtle off of his back like that. That was freaking hilarious. And he slapped his hand away. I've been watching probably MMA since 2004. I've never ever seen anybody do that. So I thought that was freaking awesome. So he's gonna have that photo for the rest of his life. Okay, awesome and good. It sounds good. Awesome. Thank you. Everything's good, pal. Your setup is clean. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Your champ, where's that belt? Guys, so update on that. So they are coming back on February 14th. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play it cool. I'm gonna wait till like around like February like 4th or 5th, and then I'll shoot him a nice little message like, hey, just to let you know, I'm gonna be at the next show. So if you have the belt, that'd be great if you could bring it from me. That way you don't have to mail it. So I've already been rehearsing in my head how I'm gonna say it. So that way it doesn't come across like, man, give me that belt. So that way I'm not coming across like Debo. But no, trust me guys, I'm gonna do whatever I can within my power to get that belt. I've been praying about it. I've been thinking about it. So I'm gonna bring that belt home. So I thought that fight was pretty decent. The Rose Namajunas fight versus Natalia Silva. The announcers, they kind of said it best. There's like a lot of feints and a lot of fading. Even when I do that in sparring, sometimes it can be fun when you're sparring with someone like that because it's like kind of like a mental chess match. It might not necessarily be the most fun to watch, like especially on a pay-per-view like that. But I did think it was pretty clean. It's pretty technical. Yes, there could have been a little bit more action. I think I was a little surprised that Rose lost that decision. But the old saying, don't leave it in the hands of judges. You never know what they're going to do or what they're going to say and what their judgment is going to be. So I don't know if I want to say it's a flat out blatant robbery, but when you let it go like that, that's kind of what happens. Awesome, man. A glass on the way. Yes. I hope it's on this way too. Absolutely. Watch your mouth. Okay. What's up? Do you remember me? Sorry, cause we got vacation. Yeah. What's up, Amir? How you doing? Thanks for joining me. What's up? What's up? Hopefully you're liking the pro setup. Maybe I'll start using it a little bit more often. I mean, it takes like 10 minutes to set up. I do like having the headphones on and the microphone, and it looks really professional. So that is nice. But going back to the Rose fight. And by the way, I actually trained with her brother. I used to train with her brother a few years ago at a gym here in Colorado. He's a cool dude. But yeah, I don't know if you could flat out just do like a whole protest and say like, oh, this is a robbery. I can't believe she lost. So, I mean, it was pretty close. That's kind of just what happens when you let go of a decision. And then when both of you are kind of counter fighters and you're kind of twitchy and you're doing like a lot of feints, like I said, it could be fun and sparring, but actually watching it on a pay-per-view might not be as exciting. So I definitely get that. Justin must have had been disqualified. No, he didn't get disqualified. So let me move on to got my list here, and then the Derek Lewis fight versus Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis. That was so odd. Where are you from? I'm from Denver, Colorado. Where you watching from? Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're liking the pro setup. Do you follow UFC? Yeah, I'm gonna start following more UFC because to be honest with you guys, I actually stopped watching it for a while because, like I said, a lot of my friends are married, and so they don't necessarily want to get together as often. We know they got young kids; they're trying to do the family thing, and I'm not about to spend $80 by myself to watch just maybe 2 fights that I actually want to see. I'd rather buy a new pair of boxing gloves or some running shoes. So it was so nice to be able to watch the fights for only $8.99. Yes, it wasn't in Ultra HD, but hey, that'll definitely manage. Better than watching on my phone. And then it was so much better than going to a bar and have to eat the food, sit in those chairs, and listen to a bunch of people just bah, 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 bah. So that is nice. 3 times eye fingers. I know, yeah. Pimlet Was is robbery. I'm going to get to that. So don't worry. I'm going to get to it. So I just said love from India. Okay. The Derek Lewis fight, and I do know that's part of Derek Lewis's kind of strategy and his facade. He tries to act like he's kind of bored, almost out of shape, nonchalant, and then he'll explode on you and do something crazy like a flying jump switch knee or like a jump switch kick, and he was bashing with that power. But it just looked like he was kind of going through the motions. Looked like he didn't really want to be there. He was there kind of for a paycheck. And when I saw the replay, it looked so strange because it looked like he didn't even get hit clean. It looked like he slipped. And then like when he fell, he's like fell on his back like a turtle, and he just like accepted it. And then if you look at um Akasa's like reaction, he was kind of like, oh, okay. And he just proceeded to get on top of him and start just thrashing him. I was really confused. I think the announcer was confused. I think everybody in the arena was confused. Because like he didn't really get hit. He got lightly hit and then his foot slipped out from under him and then he just like accepted his fate. So I don't know if he figures like, hey, you know, I don't feel like fighting tonight, but hey, I gotta do what I gotta do to get paid. That was really strange. So I don't know what to think of that. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that Derek Lewis fight? That was really strange. Yeah. I'm from Sardinia. I can't even say that. Sardinga. I'm butchering your country now. I'm so sorry. I don't even know how to say that. Actually, let me look it up real quick. Make sure I don't butcher your country's name. I'm not AI. I'm a real boy. It's so funny you guys think this is AI. Cardegna. Okay, let me make sure. Sardinia. Sardinia? Is that how you say it? Sardinia, Italy? So sorry for mispronouncing your country's name. I'm an American. We're not the best at geography, so got that filter on. I don't have a filter on. I'm using a Sony A7 Mark IV, and I'm live streaming from OBS. So I'm not using my phone. That's funny to me. So yeah, I just could not believe that Derek Lewis fight. That was just so odd. So I don't know what happened. It was like he just accepted his fate. He just fell on his back, kind of like a turtle. Just didn't accept it. So that was really strange. So let's move on to make sure I got my list here. Okay, and the Sean O'Malley versus Song Young Dong. Oh my gosh, I bet there's so many jokes on that. I mean, and I did think that was kind of lame that like a Song Young Dong like did like the glove tap right to a kick. That's kind of like, that's kind of poor sportsmanship. But hey, you know, like at least Sean O'Malley was like, hey, you know, it is what it is. Not that big of a deal. I did think that was a pretty close fight, honestly. I could see how it could kind of go either way. But obviously the UFC wants certain people to win. Let's be real here. Sean was probably the A side, and that way they could set up other fights. So that's probably what that was. And he came back out with his original intro music. So I think we kind of know what was going on there a little bit. I did think it was a pretty decent fight. It probably could have gone almost any way, but like I said, there's definitely A side and B side, that's for sure. Okay. Boys in the Hood or Men's Society? Ooh. I'm gonna go with Boys of the Hood. Because I like the Boys of the Hood soundtrack. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna go with Boys of the Hood. What would you choose? Oh, my ear itches. There we go. All right, so that's that fight. Okay, so let's get to the main event. Justin Gaethje versus Patty Pumlet. Um, I actually thought Patty was probably going to do it. Um, the striking wasn't really working. He wasn't having a whole lot of success with that, so I'm kind of surprised he didn't take it to the ground. And I'm not even really a ground guy. I'm actually more of a stand-up guy, so the stand-up wasn't working. So I'm really surprised he didn't try to go for the takedown. But then again, I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's actually only had 4 successful takedowns in his whole UFC career. So it's probably not too shocking. Belly with DMX. You know what? I never liked that movie Belly. I thought that movie was so overrated. I remember I saw it. I was so bored. I was actually kind of confused. Like, I never liked Belly. And I think that's one of those movies where people, they just pretend to like it just so they can be kind of trendy and like cultured and act like they're a real hip hop fan. So you might not like that, but I think that's one of those movies, kind of like that and like Pulp Fiction. I don't think as many people like Pulp Fiction as they claim. I think they just kind of act like it's a cultural, iconic movie. So I think people just pretend to like Pulp Fiction more than they actually do. Um, but yeah, I was really surprised that he didn't go for the takedown. Okay, hold up. Okay. PSA, Coach, I like you, but you might be wrong about the Tate situation with Sneeko. I watched some interviews with Sneeko, looks super disingenuous. He's just looking to discredit Tate out of envy. And I said, I meant, well, thank you, appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, I've been working hard on it. Got a new laptop. I got my mic. I'm shooting with the Sony A7 IV. This is a HyperX mic. I got it on a Black Friday deal, so thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I was actually just watching a video with it was Sneeko and Sean Bradley. That's his name, right? Mr. I'm 265. I do think Sneeko has some valid points because Tate, he claims to be the pinnacle of masculinity and excellence in male performance. I'm the richest person there is. I'm the toughest. I'm the baddest. I'm the alpha. I'm king of the alphas. But then he did fold pretty quick when it came to that song, which actually they shouldn't even put that song on, to be honest with you. He did fold, and then he went on the PBD podcast, and he basically threw Sneeko under the bus, and basically saying like, "Oh, I didn't even want to be there. I thought I would stay there for 15 minutes. I didn't engage in the song," but there's clips of him. If you see it, he's actually smiling and nodding his head. He's smiling and nodding his head when they're in that little party bus. He even played the song in his Bugatti when it got debuted. And then he even said to say, "Hey, maybe we should bring back the what salute." So I don't know about that. So I think Tate did fold, in my opinion. Upgraded for real. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Mexico President, thank you, Victor. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Yeah, I do like the setup. The only downside is sometimes the audio goes out and sometimes it can lag. But I do like the setup. But the downside to the setup is I don't get as many people viewing. Because like right now, it's starting to lag a little bit. So sorry about that, guys. It'll straighten out. But that's the only downside is I don't get nearly as many views because I haven't looked it up on ChatGPT. And it said that when you live stream from OBS, you might not get pushed out as far in the algorithm because they want people to be on their phone and obviously be on the YouTube app. So I get way more views on the when I live stream from my iPhone, but the setup looks way more professional in here. So it's kind of a trade-off. Is it Vanessa? Is that how you say it? Hi, how you doing? Am I saying your name right? Vanessa? Thank you for joining me. Where you watching from? But thank you guys. I'm glad you guys like the setup because I like the setup too. So, I'm going to do start doing more UFC reviews because I stopped watching for a while there because like I said before, I was like, I am not trying to pay $74 plus tax to watch this fight. I only want to see like 2 fights anyway. I'd much rather buy some boxing gloves or some running shoes, or just take my girl out. Like if I had a girlfriend, take my girlfriend out to a nice dinner date. But yeah, I am so thankful that they did that Paramount deal. So that's gonna be really cool. And I do got to get used to those ads. I mean, I feel like those ads are kind of intrusive. But going back to the main event, Justin Gaethje versus Patty, those eye pokes. Oh my gosh, Justin Gaethje, he poked him so bad in the eye. There's a lot of low blows too. It was an exciting fight. I think it was pretty good. I do think that was the right decision. I think it was a close fight, but I think Patty handled lots with grace, especially him saying that, "Hey, I'm only 31. I'm gonna bounce back. I'm gonna work my way back up to the top." Kind of the paraphrase. So at least he was gracious in defeat. It was a good fight, good main event. I think it was a good debut overall. You're watching from America. Let's see. Did you get hit with the snowstorm? Because I'm here in Denver, Colorado. Thankfully, it's only we didn't really get hit with a lot of snow, just some light snow. And honestly, it's been a really light winter here so far in Denver. So we can't complain at all. So I'm very thankful we didn't get hit with that snowstorm. But yeah, but that was pretty much my main thoughts on the UFC. I thought overall it was a good debut. Again, I am so happy I didn't have to go to a bar or try to round up my friends that got families and try to convince them to take time away from their families so I can drive to their house and watch the fights. So nice watching on a big screen instead of me trying to watch it on my tiny little iPhone. The image quality was decent. I didn't get the upgraded package. I just got the $8.99 because I already have way too many streaming services as it is. I mean, I have Amazon Prime, I have Netflix, I have YouTube, I have Duolingo, I have Lightroom, I have Tinder Gold. So I can change my location so I can be a passport bro. And then I have Dropbox. So I have way too many subscriptions as it is. So dang, you got hit with that snowstorm. Yeah. Eye poke, gouge should be penalized. back in the fighter's career. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Look at hold up, what's his name? Tom. Yeah, look at Tom Aspinall. His career might be in jeopardy. It might be over. And they've got to figure out like how to do some kind of closed. I mean, even Joe Rogan's been talking about it for years. Like, how many times do people have to get injured and fights get stopped and delayed and people have to have eye surgery and possibly risk their career from eye pokes? Like, they've got to figure out how to make some kind of design of a glove. That way people won't stick their fingers out and jam people in the eye. He said, I watched some streams of Sneeko instigating his friends to the point of driving them away from him. I can't take him seriously when he has so much envy and hate. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like I said, I am definitely more on Sneeko's side. He shouldn't have put that song on, honestly. He should not have put that song on. I know he thinks it's the greatest song ever made. He likes to hum the tune. He thinks the instrumental and he's like the sound of freedom in his mind. I heard the song for the first time a couple days ago. It kind of gave me like a weird feeling, honestly. I mean, I will admit the instrumental is crazy, but dude, like he should not have put that song on. I think that was a mistake. Part of me kind of doesn't blame Tate for kind of trying to diss himself because he does have a case. But then again, for the last 5 years, he's been claiming that he's the pinnacle of alpha male and success. And he escaped the Matrix, resisted slave mind, but then he folded that easily. So I can kind of see both sides, but I am leaning more towards Sneeko because they did throw him under the bus. Okay, let me see. Did you say Tinder Gold? Yeah, yeah, I got Tinder Gold. Yeah. Because I don't get that many matches here in the US. Like if I get one match here, I'll get 10 matches in Europe. So I'm definitely a passport bro. But I've told this story many times on here. But if you guys want to hear about it, let me know. But you know, I went to Germany for a Tinder match. That didn't quite pan out. I also went back to Hungary, met up with my ex-girlfriend, because my ex-girlfriend's Hungarian. That didn't work out. That was a crazy disaster. But I did have a good experience there when I was in Hungary. I even taught some Muay Thai classes. It was a great experience. Got some awesome photos. So, but yeah, being a passport bro isn't as easy as people make it sound. That's just how it goes. But yeah, guys, those are pretty much my main thoughts on the UFC. Like I thought it was a pretty good debut. I do feel kind of bad for Rose because it was like a pretty technical fight. Like I said, it was faint heavy. Those fights, a lot of audiences don't like to watch. And yeah, but overall, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good card, good fight overall, good fights overall, especially for $8.99. Are you kidding me? Plus, you can cancel anytime. So I think it's worth it. So I'll start doing some more live streams. I even tried to go live last night, but nobody was watching. So I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just gonna chill. I'll just live stream tomorrow. Cassidy, what's up? How you doing, Cassidy? Everything good? And no, I'm not AI. I'm a real boy. And where you watching from? Yeah, I remember you. Everything good? Thank you for joining me. Hope you liking the new setup. Trying to level things up here, make it look professional. So everyone have a good weekend. So now that we got the UFC, we kind of chop that up. Okay, wait. The song HH is crazy and carries strange vibes. I agree with you. It's super catchy and disturbing at the same time. Yes. Yo, PSA, that's exactly how I felt. I actually got, like, I hate to say it, but it actually gave me chills. Like, I actually got, like, chills from it. Like, it's very strange. The vibes are strange. I will say the chanting, the instrumental is crazy. I did get very strange vibes from that. So, I don't know what to think about it. I mean, it's crazy catchy. It's very memorable. It's one of those songs where you hear it once and you'll probably remember for the rest of your life. I just think it is actually hard to find now too, because even when I try to listen to it, it's hard to find on YouTube. I just don't think I don't think Sneeko should have played that song. I know he's trying to resist the slave mind and escape the Matrix, but honestly, I think he did himself a disservice. And I do agree that Tate should excuse himself. He would be like, hey, listen, I'm trying to fight a case. I'm facing up to 10 years. Let me just excuse myself. Please don't play that song. But, his ego kind of did get the better of him. But then he's clearly seen smiling and nodding his head. And he even played the song in his Bugatti. So I see both sides. But I don't like how Walter. I can't remember which one. Is he fresh or is he fit? I can't remember. Like Walter's turning his back on him, and he did a live stream with academics, and he said like, oh, like a F Sneeko basically in 4K. That's crazy. So, but yeah. Overall, I think Sneeko shouldn't have played that song. Honestly. Ooh, and also, I do have. I don't want to jinx myself, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much. I do have a couple of prospects on the dating apps. We'll kind of see. I don't want to. I don't want to talk about too much because I'm a big believer. You can speak things into existence, and if you talk about things too much, they can get snatched from you. A perfect example of this, like I'll tell you guys a story. So I was trying to be a passport bro, and also I wanted to be. I thought I wanted to be a. How are you doing today? Yeah, I'm doing great. How you doing? Oh, I slept so good last night, and I even slept on my couch. So some much needed rest. So yeah, I'm doing great, feeling good. I'm glad I hopped on here tonight because I was thinking about just taking a break, but now I'm glad I hopped on here live, talking to you guys. Trying to be more of a full time YouTuber and a live streamer. So, if I want that to happen, I got to get on here and start talking to you guys. But yeah, how you doing? But yeah, I'll tell you guys this story. So I want to be like a travel vlogger and get into adventures and take you guys along with me. So I saved up a bunch of money and even took out a loan and put myself in credit card debt, which I don't recommend doing. And I was like, man, I'm gonna do this whole travel vlog. And I'm gonna take you guys along with me. I'm gonna do like this whole martial arts, like a tour type thing, and then I'm gonna turn it into like a travel show. I was like, man, this is gonna be lit. This is gonna be so dope. And then I flew all the way to Germany for a Tinder match. That didn't work out. Did get some awesome photos. And also I flew to Budapest, Hungary. But guys, I kid you not. So I was telling people about it, and all within the span of about like 3 days. So because I kept talking about it, so one, I had a really well-playing client tell me that more like in the morning, hey, I want to extend our training sessions longer. I'm really enjoying this, so I want to extend the training sessions. I'm like, great. Guys, I kid you not, about 2 hours later, she texts me and says, hey, listen, this is going to be our last training session. So thank you for everything you did for me, and maybe we'll work together in the future. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, 2 hours prior, you said you want to extend the lessons. So I'm like, what are you talking about? And then maybe like a day or two after that, I'm teaching kickboxing at this gym in Parker. And then the owner goes, hey, listen, the numbers are kind of a little bit low right now. So we're going to have to cut your classes. I'm going to teach your classes. And then hopefully we get the numbers back up. So as of right now, we're going to cut your classes. And I was teaching there 3 days a week. So I was like, wow, okay. And then another thing happened too. Let me think what happened. So yeah, so I lost that client. I lost the job. And then one other thing happened. Let me try to think of it. So it was like bam, 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 like 3 times in a row. It was like boop, boop, boop. So that's why you guys got to be careful about talking about your plans and saying things, because who knows if somebody's doing witchcraft or doing incantations on you and trying to put curses on you. So you got to be very careful when you're talking about your goals and what you're trying to accomplish, and putting it out there. So from here on out, I'll tell you guys things, but I'll wait until they've happened and I'll come back and recap it to you. So long story short, I got a couple of prospects. I got a couple fishes on the hook, but I'm going to wait until it actually goes down, and then I'll tell you what happened. So yeah, because I like updating you guys on my dating app experiences because they are so crazy, and it just drives me nuts. Because like even just like last week, I went on this date with a Russian woman. She was pretty nice. Everything seemed pretty cool. We had a good conversation. We met up for coffee. We walked around the park. I thought everything was going good. Date lasted about an hour and a half, which is perfect amount of timing. We did it early in the morning, so that way I could still have things to do. Because I don't know about you guys, I'm the kind of person where if it's in the morning and I have to be somewhere or have to meet someone at like 4 p.m., I can't fully relax. I kind of just stay in like standby mode, like a computer. Like I can't like fully just relax. So for me, if I want to meet someone, I'd much rather do it earlier if possible, and that way I can just enjoy the rest of my day. And then she met up with me. She said she wasn't feeling that well. So I thought that was cool that even though she wasn't feeling that well, she still came to meet with me and had a good time. I was like, hey, I'll text you later on the night. So I texted her that night, said, hey, thanks for meeting up with me. I enjoyed it. Hope you feel better. And then try to set up another date. And I was like, hey, you want to get together next weekend? And then she started doing like the whole, I'm going to wait like 5 hours to respond to text. I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. And then she's like, okay, yeah, when? And I was like, maybe Saturday or maybe Friday or Saturday. And she goes, oh, well, I have plans those nights, which we know what that means. And she put a sad face. And I'm like, okay, let me try to make this easy for you. So I was like, wait, maybe we meet up Sunday. And then didn't hear back from her that whole day. And then waited a whole nother day. And then I checked the app, she unmatched me. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's like, why did we go through all this? And like, it just drives me nuts when we like wait like 6 to 8 hours to respond to a text. It's not that hard to respond to a text. And then she tried to pull the whole excuse like, oh, well, I have to be mentally prepared to text someone. And I just need space and I just need to be mentally prepared. And I'm like, I came this close to saying this, but I was like, no, I better not, because I'm like, all right, guys. So let's say you have to wait 5 to 6 hours to respond to a friend or a potential date's text. So how about this scenario? Let's say you're about to get an insurance payout and the insurance company calls you and leaves a message that says, hey, listen, we have good news for you. We're actually able to get you more money for your insurance payout. So instead of $1,500, we actually got you $3,800. So we need you to call us back or text us at your earliest convenience, because we need to get your account information, or we can cut you a check. The check's gonna take about a week, but if you do direct deposit, we get your bank info, we can get it to you in 1 business day. Do you sit there and think to yourself, my insurance company's gonna pay me out $3,800. Oh, I should respond, but I need to wait 6 to 8 hours to respond to this. It's like, come on, you're not gonna do that. So, whenever people say that, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not. I don't think that's cool. I will say, like, for me, there are times when I can't respond because I work as a personal trainer and a kickboxing coach. So there is times when I just cannot respond for 2 hours, sometimes 3, when I'm dealing with clients. But when you wait like a whole like 6 to 8 hours or like a whole business day to respond and say, oh, sorry, I'm just not saying this, or oh, I fell asleep, to me, that's just silly. So I just don't like that. I think that's kind of lame. So what are you guys' thoughts? So you guys are quiet in the chat. So ask me some questions, guys. I got 90 of you watching. So ask me some questions. So like always, we're not only restricted to the main topic. We can talk about fitness, dating apps, training, kickboxing. So ask me some questions, guys. Like I said, I do think that was a good debut for the UFC, and it was so nice not having to drive to a bar to watch it. So I'm interested to see what the next card is going to be. And also, thank you guys for the compliments with the setup. Like I said, I don't get nearly as many views, and it does get a little glitchy like it is right now. And the audio does sound way better. I do like the lighting. I think everything looks much better, but it doesn't get pushed out nearly as much as it does when I do it from my iPhone. So, but it's all good. It's definitely a trade-off. Plus, everyone always accused me of being AI, which I think is funny. Let me see. Paulo, my name is Paulo. Where you watching from, Paulo? Thank you for joining the live stream. And no, this is not AI, and I don't have a filter. I am a real boy. All right, guys. You guys are super quiet today. So ask me some questions, guys. And like always, thank you for joining me. And if you can, hit that like button for me, because I'm trying to be a full-time YouTuber. I'm trying to upgrade the production, make sure everything's looking good. So can you see my message? Yes, I can see it now. I don't know, the chat's really quiet today. I know we got 10 people watching, but you guys are quiet. Normally I'm getting called like egghead. I'm getting called the hard R, or they make fun of they call me Megamind or they make fun of my hairline. So but no, it's cool to catch up with you guys. Cause like I said, I was thinking about just taking today off, but I'm glad I hopped on a live here. So maybe I might cut this one a little short and then just as an experiment, I might hop on my phone. Okay. Is your chat working? Yeah, the chat's working. I can see your message. I know it's super quiet. I have you noticed that whenever I'm on OBS, the chat is really quiet. So I might actually close this one out and then I might hop back on here and do another live stream from my iPhone. So, but yeah, thank you guys for joining me. Appreciate it. It's good to talk about the UFC again because I haven't been watching lately because the cards has been so expensive. But I will gladly pay $8.99 a month. Plus, I can get movies and shows. I thought it was a good debut. I got to get used to the ads. The ads definitely were throwing me off, and I thought that was kind of crazy that they just put that ad up like right in the middle of Dominic Cruz's like induction to the Hall of Fame. That was kind of crazy, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, but thank you guys for joining me. You know, maybe I'll hop on my iPhone real quick and do a live stream and just do a little experiment. So, all right, guys, hit that like button for me. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you. Let's end the sucker. We out of here.